Hi Earthlings! Greetings to all who are pursuing enlightenment and self-realization. Today, via the prism of Carl Jung's active imagination, we will go deeply into the enigmatic depths of your brain and examine the transforming field of shadow work. Prepare to explore the secret rooms of your mind, which are full of surprises and gems. Have you ever experienced a gentle inward tug as though your ideas and behaviors are entering uncharted territory? It's time to answer that call and explore the mysterious depths of your mind, where self-discovery turns into a confrontation with the shadow. Imagine your mind as an unexplored territory that is both rich with possibilities and obscured by unexplored depths. The psychologist Carl Jung popularized the idea of the shadow, which refers to the hidden parts of our brain that shape our attitudes and behaviors. The shadow is a tapestry made of both darkness and brightness, not just a storehouse of anxieties and negativity. To understand this, picture your mind as an uncharted forest, full with hidden treasures and allies, as well as challenges in the form of lurking creatures. Think about Jung's viewpoint on this inner voyage as we delve deeper. What if I told you that unlocking your potential involves navigating the mysterious terrain of your own mind? It takes bravery, curiosity, and a readiness to face one's inner darkness to venture into the depths. Now let's explain the shadow. It's not a single, all-encompassing force of negativity. Rather, it's a complicated mixture of traits we'd want to keep hidden, like sloth, selfishness, and cowardice. But as Jung pointed out, the shadow is not entirely bad. A thought-provoking dimension is added by renowned psychologist James Hillman, who says, "To know one's own shadow is to be at home in the darkness of the self, where creativity and hidden treasures are stored." Think of the hero's journey as a journey into a dangerous, dark jungle full of obstacles. Along with facing monsters, the hero finds allies and prizes. In a similar vein, there are abilities and unrealized creativity lurking in the shadows, just waiting to be discovered. This is where Jung himself comes in handy. There's generally no effective technique for assimilating the shadow. It is more like diplomacy or statesmanship. Let's use this quotation to illustrate these ideas. It's a diplomatic voyage within, one that will take you through mental wilderness. See yourself as the protagonist, blazing a route through the shadows and gloom while eschewing the well-traveled paths of everyday existence. However, why take on this adventure? What's in store for us after we finish our self-examination? There are several facets to the answer. It's about having the strength to look past our prejudices, heal our wounds, and break free from invisible forces. It's about becoming clear and recognizing the true matrix, the boundaries of our brains. But this isn't an endeavor to achieve traditional success. It's not about crossing things off of a list that society has created. There are countless tales of people deviating from the norm in order to engage in extensive introspective self-work. Take Harvard's Robert Waldinger, a skilled psychiatrist who converted to Zen monkhood and was looking for something more profound than what science could provide. The soul enters the picture at this point. As Jung so eloquently states, it's about being a little more entire and realizing who you truly are. Envision yourself developing akin to a tree, ignorant of your legal system yet bound by intents anyway, disregarding the fact that intention is the boundary. Like every well-grown person, a great tree has immense potential that is just waiting to be realized. We'll explore the duality of the darkness in our next adventure, seeing how it conceals hidden gems and creative seeds in addition to its darker sides. Join us as we use Carl Jung's active imagination to unlock the mysteries of your psyche and kindle the inner fire. Feel free to leave a comment below and subscribe to stay updated. Are you prepared to set off on your own hero's journey? Think of your mind as a painting on which shadows dance, a canvas defined by the interaction of light and dark rather than by sharp contrasts. As we delve farther into the maze of the psyche, our objective is to decipher the shadow and realize that it is neither entirely light nor entirely black. Have you ever questioned whether your worries and anxieties are more complex than they first appear? What if I told you that, hidden behind your anxieties, are creative potential and treasures just waiting to be discovered? It's time to accept the shadow's diversity and challenge the accepted wisdom surrounding it. According to Jungian psychology, the shadow is the culmination of all the traits we find repulsive, including greed, sloth, and cowardice. But this isn't the complete tale. With this provocative twist, James Hillman says, "To know one's own shadow is to be at home in the darkness of the self, where creativity and hidden treasures are stored." Think about this. There is a duality, a dance between light and dark, within the shadow. It's a storehouse of unrealized potential as well as a repository of negativity. Like a hero stumbling through a pitch-black forest, facing down creatures, and making allies, your voyage into the darkness can unveil not just your worries, but also your creative side and hidden strengths. Let's examine the advantages of the shadow using anecdotes from our own lives or instances from well-known people who use their shadows to their advantage. Maybe you can uncover surprising strengths in your shadow, just like the hero finds unexpected allies. The intricacy of the shadow is emphasized by Carl Jung's observations. It is a complex force with a wide range of both good and bad attributes rather than a one-dimensional force. Consider the following question as you make your way through your own shadows. What hidden gems may I discover within my own darkness? What allies might be waiting for me to find them? Let's use an analogy to further clarify this notion. Imagine the shadow as a canvas on which a painter would apply both light and dark colors. The harmonic interaction of disparate parts defines the masterpiece rather than the absence of darkness. In the same way that your psyche is a complicated painting, the shadow adds to its richness and depth. This brings us back to our exploration. In the words of Jung, there's generally no effective technique for assimilating the shadow. It is more like diplomacy or statesmanship. In order to navigate the shadow's complexity diplomatically, one must be acutely aware of its dual nature. Instead of driving out the darkness, the hero learns to live with it and uses it to his advantage. Let's confront stereotypes and accept the entirety of the shadow as we travel forward. It is not about driving out darkness. Rather, it is about admitting its presence and realizing the deep wisdom it contains. Come along as we unravel the complex code of the shadow to uncover its jewels. In the following post, we'll discuss useful techniques for interacting with the shadow and examine Carl Jung's active imagination as a transformative approach. Join us on this insightful journey by subscribing, and please share your thoughts below. Are you prepared to find the hidden gems in your own shadow? The journey never ends. Ever pondered how to effectively deal with something you're not entirely aware of? Well, you need not wonder anymore. Today, we look at useful techniques that help us navigate the maze of our thoughts and close the gap between the conscious and unconscious. To get things started, let's pose this provocative question. Have you made the decision to practice mindfulness during times when you feel the need to push something down or have an emotional outburst? The first step to solving the shadow's secrets is developing an awareness-based mindset, especially during trying times. Active imagination is one of Carl Jung's main instruments in analytical practice, particularly in shadow work. See it as a dialogue with your unconscious, in which symbols, images, and visualizations serve as the self-discovery language. Through this technique, a qualified therapist can assist you in allowing your unconscious to express itself in ways that may remain hidden from conscious awareness. Let's now explore dream analysis, which offers a glimpse into the subconscious. According to Jung, dreams hold vital information about the self and the shadow. Think of your dreams as mysterious messages that need to be interpreted. As soon as you wake up, pick up a journal and start recording the details. It's possible that even seemingly little details will help you comprehend your shadow material. Think about this. Odd characters, strong feelings, or sudden outbursts of strength are common themes in dreams. A friend once told me about a reoccurring dream she had involving a dark person in a haunted environment. This kind of scenario is known as a typical shadow dream according to Jung. What themes show up in your dreams on a regular basis, and what can they indicate about your innermost thoughts? Dream journaling turns into a gold mine, a roadmap that leads you through the maze of your unconscious. When you record your dreams on a regular basis, you begin to identify themes, symbols, and emotions in them. By bringing the unconscious into waking consciousness, these patterns provide insights into your shadow material. Generally speaking, journaling goes beyond dreams. It entails writing down feelings, ideas, and reflections. Being unedited and delving into one's biases, concerns, and worries is crucial. This exercise reveals the recurrent patterns of conduct that are coming from your psyche's shadows. Which unconsciously held habits control your behavior? Writing down your thoughts takes you on a self-awareness trip, turning the intangible into concrete observations. Self-discovery and artistic expression go hand in hand. Whether it's writing, painting, or any other creative expression, artistic pursuits become a tool for exploring the unconscious. Since Jung was a passionate artist, his Red Book serves as a testament to the transformational potential of art in exploring the depths of the psyche. Through self-expression through creativity, the unconscious can come to life. It's more important to allow the creative process reveal facets of your shadow than it is to produce a masterpiece. In what ways can creativity enable you to access your innermost self? Think about this as you assess how art fits into your own journey. We also have another powerful tool in our toolbox: reverse engineering projection. When we project our own unconscious traits onto other people, it's called projection. Think back to times when you were irritated or angry with someone. Through investigating what it was about that individual that provoked these kinds of responses, you uncover your projected shadow. Examine your reactions and triggers formally. What characteristics in other people make you feel strongly? Make a list of them and investigate the causes of these feelings. Reverse engineering projection is the process of tracking those feelings back to your own mental origins. It's a deliberate technique to expose the hidden facets of your shadow by untangling the strands of your projections. Let's investigate the meditative route now. Clarity and inner awareness can be developed with meditation, which is an incredibly effective method. See it as an exploration of the innermost recesses of your mind that will provide you a better understanding of the domains of the unconscious. By concentrating on your feelings and ideas, you make room for self-awareness to grow. It's not necessary for meditation to be complicated. It can be as easy as just observing your thoughts objectively. You may have subtle revelations when you tune into the inner workings of your mind. Irregular nervousness, unexplainable confidence, and procrastination might all stem from your shadow. Meditation turns like a lantern that helps you navigate the psychological shadows. Personally, think about how psychedelic experiences or plant medications fit within this journey. Translating from the name psychedelic to mind manifesting, these drugs have a remarkable capacity to reveal previously hidden information. Psychedelics, like active imagination and dream analysis, can grant you insights into the recesses of your mind. Recall that this is not an exact science. According to Jung, there's generally no effective technique for assimilating the shadow. It is more like diplomacy or statesmanship. Accept the ambiguity and engage in a tactful dance with your own unconscious. Every technique serves as a compass, pointing you in the right direction and exposing sides of you that you might not have otherwise seen. When this part comes to an end, consider how willing you are to venture into mental uncharted territory. Are you devoted to the process of self-exploration? The benefits of walking the hero's path are immense, but it's not always easy to achieve. You will gain more self-awareness, experience personal development, and have a deeper comprehension of your talents, shortcomings, and limitations. To remain updated on this life-changing journey, subscribe. Post your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Collaboratively, we traverse the obscure terrain of the mind, revealing the inner knowledge. The journey is still ongoing. Will you join it? Through our journey, we have learned about the complexities of the psyche, the dual nature of the shadow, and useful techniques for interacting with the unconscious. Now, let's broaden our horizons and reflect on the deeper, more profound reasons why this voyage is important. Have you ever wondered what success really means? It's simple to become enmeshed in the chase of traditional success, career milestones, societal validation, and material acquisitions, in a world where success is measured by exterior accomplishments. But as we approach the starting point of the soul's journey, let's consider this provocative question. What if true success is found in the depths of self-awareness and wholeness rather than in the outward markers? With his poetic wisdom, Carl Jung invites us to develop into trees that are ignorant of their own loss. Imagine the potential that a tree has, each branch expressing its natural design in a different way. In a similar spirit, Jung contends that inside each of us is a complex potential that is only waiting to be unlocked and realized. Unlocking this potential, abiding by our own laws, and fending off other influences are all part of the soul's journey. Think about the hero's journey again as we make our way through the murky landscape of our brains. In myths and tales, heroes frequently stray from the well-beaten road. They confront darkness and uncertainty and come out of it changed. Comparably, the soul's journey toward wholeness, known as individuation, necessitates going into our own inner darkness. It's an adventure away from the well-traveled routes in life, a break from conventional norms, and an acceptance of the uncharted. Let us now debunk a myth. The aim of shadow work is not traditional success. It has nothing to do with gaining recognition or moving up the corporate ladder. Actually, you might not follow the familiar paths after doing this effort. It can cause you to reevaluate what success, as determined by society norms, means. When we follow the hero's journey, we come across tales of people who deviated from the norm in search of genuine self-discovery. Take, for example, the story of Robert Waldinger, a Harvard psychiatrist with distinction who decided to become an ordained Zen Rashi. Why did he veer away from the accepted course of empirical knowledge? Because, as he candidly revealed, the honors and accomplishments fell short of quenching his profound existential need. This difference represents the soul's need for something more than success as measured by the outside world. Think back on your personal experience. Have you ever experienced a discrepancy between your inner contentment and your outward successes? Transcending the society checklist and finding a more profound, meaningful connection with oneself are essential to the soul's evolution. The pursuit of conventional success frequently leaves a hole, a nagging feeling that something fundamental is missing as we face the shadows within. Now let's explore a moving example from one of Jung's autobiographical works, The Red Book. He suggests that when we abide by our own rule, our potential will manifest, and he asks us to grow like a tree. This law is the individual route that each of us must follow, ignoring expectations and outside influences. To find the true self, the hero inside each of us needs to fight against the pull of cultural standards. Think about this analogy. We frequently forget that the rewards of our efforts can only blossom when we venture into and emerge from the darkness within. We live in a world that is concerned with results. The shadow's journey is similar to the hero's, with both being riddled with mystery and gloom. We have to travel through uncharted mental territory in order to incorporate the shadow and absorb its wisdom. Why take on this difficult journey? What lies beyond the soul's development for us to discover? The ability to see past prejudices, overcome shortcomings, and uncover hidden abilities holds the key to the solution. It's about having more self-assurance, knowing oneself better, and being able to see life clearly. Think about the ingrained unconscious habits that control your actions. How frequently do you observe yourself acting impulsively or delaying things unnecessarily? These recurring behaviors frequently come from our psychological shadows. We become less prone to projecting our shadow stuff onto the outside world and other people when we participate in shadow work. When you pan out to the macrocosm, you will see that the shadow is a collective phenomena as well as a personal one. Collective shadows among nations also affect poisonous rhetoric and the horrors of war. Sometimes, collective shadow projections, blaming, triggering, and scapegoating are the root cause of the world's issues. We facilitate a collective healing while we work through our personal darkness. Let's now place shadow work in the larger perspective of individuation, a phrase that Jung used to characterize the process of becoming whole. The process of individuation is progressive. The first stage involves transitioning from an ego and persona-based existence to an investigation of the shadow. We have traveled through meeting the wise old man archetype, integrating the anima or animus, infusing these elements into a more complete self. Consider the idea of growing like a tree as we get to the end of this exploratory chapter. Think of your potential as a distinct, complicated mass that is just waiting to be realized. Our effort in discovering and integrating the shadow is a major first step toward fulfilling this promise. Acknowledging our talents, biases, faults, and limitations is an essential first step. To be updated on this journey of transformation, subscribe. What speaks to you on this path toward the growth of the soul? Please share your ideas below. Are you prepared to walk the road of a hero, stumbling through the dark to reach your full potential? The journey goes on, and it is made richer by your presence. As we come to an end of our investigation into shadow work and the soul's journey, dear companions in spirit, let us pause to consider the deep realizations attained and the transforming trip we have all traveled. This is not merely the end. Rather, it is a call to action that reverberates throughout the mental chambers, encouraging one to accept the continuous path toward wholeness. Nothing short of a hero's journey has been our trek into the depths of the psyche, guided by the wisdom of Carl Jung and the tools of active imagination, dream analysis, and several other techniques. We explored the dark corners of our thoughts, faced our anxieties, dismantled our illusions, and set out to piece together the disparate parts of who we were. It's critical to recognize that the soul's journey is not a straight line with a distinct beginning and end as we stand at a crossroads. Rather, it is a never-ending spiral that leads to wholeness and self-awareness. Our inner hero isn't constrained by time or space. Rather, it's an eternal seeker who longs for a deeper level of comprehension and connection. Think about this. A hero's path is frequently characterized by obstacles, trials, and meetings with the unknown. In a similar vein, exploring the shadow requires us to venture into unfamiliar psychological territory, embrace the uncertain, and face difficult situations. Although the hero's journey is not always simple, the rewards found along the route are priceless. Let's ask ourselves a provocative question as we consider the realizations gained from shadow work. What facets of the shadow have you discovered on your path, and how have they influenced your perception of yourself? This process of self-inquiry is an ongoing conversation with the constantly changing facets of our mind rather than a one-time event. Understanding the duality, the interaction of light and shadow, within us is essential to the path toward wholeness. The shadow, which is sometimes mistakenly seen as entirely bad, is actually our unrealized potential and hidden strengths in addition to our anxieties and traumas. It's a creative wellspring full with gems just waiting to be found. Consider the process of reverse engineering projection, which revealed the shadows projected onto other people. What insights have these forecasts brought to light, and how have you handled them? We break down the projections and reclaim the aspects of ourselves that we have abandoned by deliberately investigating the stimuli that set off and the feelings they elicit. Dream analysis has provided us with insights into the symbolic language of the psyche, serving as a portal to the unconscious. The keys to the mysteries within are in your dreams, just like they're in encrypted letters. Have you figured out any reoccurring themes or symbols? If so, how have they helped you comprehend the shadow? Dream journaling becomes a valuable tool for this kind of introspection since it captures the subtleties of the subconscious. Jung advocated for the use of active imagination as a strategy to facilitate communication with the unconscious. It involves a dance of symbolism, imagery, and imagination, as well as a dialogue with our psyche's more profound levels. Have you ever had periods of vivid imagination? If so, how did they affect the way you perceived your inner landscapes? By creating a connection between the conscious and unconscious, this approach helps people develop a positive relationship with their shadow. The practice of meditation, which is observing the mind without passing judgment on it, is like a spotlight illuminating the dark corners of our consciousness. We become clear at periods of silence, making it possible for us to go through the darkness with greater awareness. In what ways has meditation aided your path, and what revelations have come from your inner stillness? It serves as a reminder that finding wholeness requires both focused inquiry and quiet reflection. As we conclude this round of our group exploration, let's recognize the larger shadow work setting inside the individuation framework. The phases of development, from investigating the shadow to coming into contact with the anima or animus and transforming into a more comprehensive self, are interwoven strands in the fabric of self-discovery. Have you identified the phases of your own development? And what role has shadow work played in your continued evolution? The big issue that now looms is, why go on this journey? The ability to see past prejudices, overcome inadequacies, and embrace inner strengths holds the key to the solution. It's an endeavor that goes beyond what society considers to be the typical definition of success, a search for true self-awareness. After delving into the shadow, what paradigm shift has taken place inside of you, and how has it changed the way you define success? The shadow is a communal experience rather than just a personal occurrence in the macrocosm of the community. Countries also struggle with collective shadows that show themselves as poisonous speech and horrific acts of war. Consider how the shadows of the individual and the group are intertwined, and how resolving one affects the other. As we get to the end of this journey, let's revisit the metaphor of becoming like a tree, with every branch serving as a distinct manifestation of our inherent potential. Our inner hero needs to develop naturally, obeying its own rules and fending off outside influences. Have you realized your own potential? And if so, how has that affected the course of your development? A continuous tapestry made of self-awareness, resiliency, and authenticity is the path toward completeness. To remain updated on this ever-changing journey, subscribe. Comment below with your thoughts. What new perspectives have you seen? And how has the experience changed you? Your voice gives our story as a group more dimension. Finally, keep in mind that the quest for wholeness is a spiritual pilgrimage, a trip within that is not limited by time or location. May you find the gems concealed in the shadows as you make your way through the maze that is your psyche. The story is made richer by your presence, and the hero's journey continues. I pray that your inner light will lead you through the darkness and illuminate the way to meaningful discoveries and heartfelt revelations till we cross paths again on the journey of self-discovery.